Now, you did the explaining them from a lore standpoint. Now we're gonna explain what they are from like a video game stance. Like what are they really in truth? Why are they how they are? So first up, the reason the place is named Hell Valley Hell Valley. The place is only named Hell Valley in the files of the game. In the real game, it's named stupid. It's named Shiverburn Galaxy. That's all it's called. Someone said that Hell Valley was just a mistranslation, and the place in Japanese name it's actually called Burning Ice Galaxy or something. But I don't believe that. For one thing, that sounds stupid. And again, the file names don't really matter. That could have just been an older name. But you see, in Japan, there's a place called Hell Valley, which is a place with hot springs and ice around the same area. And that's where they got the name from, the idea of ice and fire, or not, in this case, not fire, but just warm. A place so cold and so warm at the same time. So that's where that came from. Now, why is it called Beyond Hell Valley Sky? Beyond Hell Valley Sky. So, the word beyond is in there not because it's like, oh my gosh, it's even worse than hell. It's beyond hell. No. Beyond is just the name that all the skyboxes are given. Beyond, because it's beyond your reach. You can't get to it. That's why it's called that. So, in reality, it's just called Hell Valley. And the sky part, obviously, is because it's the skybox. And for the creatures themselves are called Hell Valley Sky Trees because they're in the place called Hell Valley. And they're in the sky, obviously. Now, what about the trees part? Everyone says it's because they're Kadamas, which are tree spirits. But I say frick to that. Because the real reason they're called trees is probably because of the type of object they are. Since they aren't a real enemy and they're not animated in any way, shape, or form like that, their actual file, their sprite, is just simply a tree, like the trees in Super Mario 64. They're nothing more than that. And now, what about the fact that they follow you everywhere? Well, they don't really. They don't follow you everywhere. They don't slide it across the top. The whole skybox follows you. The skybox is always following you. No matter what part of the area you go to, the skybox will be there. That's why it looks like they're following you. So these might not even intentionally be following you. It's just because of the way the skybox works. Stop turning off. Phone. Phone, you suck. It's just because of the way the skybox works that they makes it feel like they're following you. So they might have just placed them there, and then they were just supposed to be there as a little secret. But since they are right above you, it's probably intentional. Because if they were just placing it in a random spot as a secret, if they were just placing it in a random spot, then they probably would have put it further back. Because video games like to hide things right off screen because you're always going forward, so they hide it backward. So, yeah. And now what else can we really say from this? The reason they're huge, like I said in the other one, they might not canonically be gigantic hulking creatures, but they're just big because in order for you to be able to see them from far away, they need to be really, really freaking huge. Which also says that these definitely are intentional. These are definitely meant to be found. Or else they wouldn't have made them so big so you can see them. I just don't see how they messed up the part where they left the other one off screen. So, yeah, there's not too much else to say. One time, so before these became huge, they were just called the Shadow People. Shadow figures of Hell Valley. Or no, the Shiverburn Shadows. And Nintendo actually made, like, I don't know what it was in, if it was in a Nintendo Power magazine or what it was in, but they actually said they actually made a thing about it and, like, try to find them or something. But yeah, they gave no info about it whatsoever. So there is really nothing to. There's no evidence that they are actually some scrapped, creepier level that they decided was not fitting for the game, and so they decided to just scrap the idea but still hide a reference to it. There's nothing to suggest that. That's entirely a made-up theory. I guess the fact that it's in the files is called Hell Valley, but in the game is called Shiverburn. But again, it's a Mario game. They wouldn't put that there. Also, it wouldn't make any sense to anyone who is not in Japan. They don't know what Hell Valley is. Stupid phone! Anyway. So that's pretty much it. So, since I forgot a few things in the last video, I'll go back to lore for a minute. Some people say that Hell Valley isn't the place that you're in, but is actually what's behind them. What could be out there? Someplace behind the border, the giant Trump wall that you see, that they're standing behind. That's Hell Valley. Nothing to deny that, but nothing to support that either. They're just up here. They're up here because they can be. But whatever. Also, they left a little. These sprites were very rushed because not only do they look really bad, like the sprites themselves are really freaking bad. They look like they were made in MS Paint. But they also left a little something up on top of their heads, which was something in coding, and they forgot to remove that from the sprite. And the Hell Valley could also be named such, or just Hell Valley in real life might be named such, because in, like, Greek mythology, everyone envisions hell as, like, hot, fiery place, but in, like, a Greek mythology, in the different layers of hell, one is also ice, so that could be another reason. But that's going back to lore, and we already made the video for the lore one part. And that would also make sense for it being beyond Hell Valley, because it's like both the hells mixed into one. But again, that's the lore stuff. We're talking about video game coding, other dumb garbage that I don't know about because I'm not a computer guy. Okay, that's all I have to say. Like, subscribe, actually watch the video, not just show up, comment, and then leave. Except it doesn't make sense that I put this at the end of the video because that means that only the people who did watch the video will hear this message. I'm stupid.